If you've watched this channel before, you'll know that I really love electric pianos. I like how they sound and I love how they work. One thing I haven't really looked at is VST versions of electric pianos on my channel. And that's just because I haven't got round to it. But today we're going to do that. So today I'm going to look at this plugin. It's called the Rhodes Anthology. And there's an affiliate link below. So if you want to learn more about it, do click that and find out more. I think this is a really cool instrument that gives us access to quite a wide range of different Rhodes pianos. So the first one's a sparkle top Rhodes piano from 1965. I'm always on the lookout for what's for sale locally, even if I can't necessarily afford it. And in about 10 years I've never seen a sparkle top Rhodes for sale locally. They just don't seem to come up. They're insanely rare and they've got some quite nice design features such as felt hammers, and they also feature square section aluminium tone bars. I really would like to play one. Next we've got a MK1, and this is the iconic Rhodes piano that really took off. This is the signature sound that you hear when you hear Rhodes piano. Next we've got this MK5 Rhodes. This features like a redesign of the hammer in action. It's been given a lovely 80s style facelift. And then the final piano is this MK7 in a bright yellow. Is that an original colour? Let's have a quick look. So we can look at the original website if we go back on the Wayback Machine, and this shows the original listing. So we've got like a white, a red and a black. But wait, if you click specification, yeah, the yellow was an option. That looks really cool actually. I can definitely see why they picked that colour for the plugin. So let's have a quick listen to each one. I'm just going to play a C7 chord and skip through them. So here's the sparkle top. So that's a nice bright sound, a solid attack. The MK1. Okay, that's quite a bit smoother and it's almost like a buttery smooth sound. I really like that. Next we've got the MK5. Okay, so this is a little thinner, a little hotter. You can kind of hear that it's been voiced differently. One thing I noticed with this one is you can hear the damper action hitting the tine as it dampens the tine's movement. I like that they've included this. This is a nice detail. They didn't have to include this. I'm sure people would have been pleased regardless. But it does add to the character of what the piano actually sounds and plays like. And then next we've got the MK7. This is a nice middle ground with some nice attack, but it still has some of that smooth MK1 butteriness. I'm a little surprised they've combined all four of these pianos together in one package. I think they could have easily had a separate release for each one. So the first thing is I want to play with this arrow here. Now this allows us to do a global tune. Now it's best not play with that, as that's going to be horrible if I forget to unadjust it. But we've also got the timbre. So this allows us to adjust how the piano's set up and just how what we call the voicing, and we can change what's relative between the pickup and the tine, and that gives us a huge range of different sounds. You can hear the range here. And I think that's a really nice feature including a plugin like this. That gives us so much versatility in the sounds we create. And then the next big feature is velocity. So I'm playing with this plugin on a polybrute, and this is not going to feel or play like an electric piano. It doesn't have a hammer action, there's not a lot going on, it's just a spring I'm fighting against. So having the ability to be able to adjust at what point we get distortion is really key to getting this to sound good. So I've played with this until the point where I can hear the distortion. I've just dialed it back a bit, and then that's what works well for me. You might be different, but I quite like a softer side of playing these electric pianos. But then looking at these controls, these look a lot like the Mark 8 controls. And these are the same for all four pianos, though I do like that they've actually colour coded the designs. So let's have a look what these controls do. We've got a preamp and we've got a volume. I'm sure you not going to be very surprised at what the volume does. But we've also got a drive, and that's quite cool. I think on the higher settings, it's a little bit too much, but it's nice to have the option. But on the lower settings, it just adds that extra bit of punch behind the notes, which is really quite a nice touch to have. We've got an EQ, and this reminds me a lot of the Mark 7 EQ. So we've got a low and a high, and these are different cutoffs. But then we've also got a middle control, which we can change the position of. So we can do like a sweep with the middle and kind of listen to where different elements of the sound are. So if I set it here, I think that's kind of cleared up the sound a bit. Do you agree? So next we've got the pan. And this is such a classic suitcase Rhodes sound, where the sound pans from left to right, and we can change how deep it is and the rate it is. One thing I really like with this is we can actually sync it to the track that we're recording to. If I was to do this on my actual Rhodes piano, it would take ages to get it perfectly set up right. So that's a really nice touch. And then next we've got a whole heap of different controls. So we've got chorus, phaser, delay and reverb. And these are all classic effects that are commonly applied to different Rhodes pianos and electric pianos to get the most out of them. Interesting that when I'm actually playing with all four together, it hasn't actually pushed the CPU usage beyond 1% at all. Very interesting. But also there's a heap of different presets where these effects have been put at very pleasing positions. Oh, and there's one more part I haven't played with, is the amp and mic simulator part. So for each piano, we've got the option of non-simulation. So I guess it's like taking the signal straight from the harp and plugging it straight into a sound card. But then we've got the option of using a suitcase or a guitar amp. And the guitar amp is kind of inherently got the scoot and mids, and you can kind of hear this quite strongly. And then the suitcase is quite a level, even response. We've also got the option of some microphones, so we've got like a large diaphragm condenser and then a dynamic microphone. These settings do tend to change the sound quite a bit, so I'm not a huge range given we've only got two. It'd be nice if in future versions we had a few more mics and maybe the option to kind of blend or fade between how strong that effect is. That'll be pretty good. But maybe I'm just being greedy because for the price of this plugin we're getting 4 pianos that are classic with a whole heap of effects built in. I think it's a pretty good deal, to be fair. As I say, I'm not going to mention the price in this video. I'd say check out what it is in the link. That's the best option. But yeah, do let me know in the comments what you think of this instrument. Do you agree? I guess one question you might get with this is why would you need 4 versions of a Rhodes piano? Now, ideally, I would like to have all these pianos in my studio, but there is not space. And I cannot afford to have so many pianos. So it's actually nice to have them as a virtual instrument. And also, if I ever travel somewhere, which I've done quite a bit over the summer, it's nice that I can play on my laptop and create some riffs and some songs without actually needing my electric piano. To complement this video, I haven't done a lot of playing, so there's going to be another video where I do no talking and just do some playing, and I hope you enjoy that. But yeah, sorry for not posting for a while, and I'll be back to that soon, I promise.